It's February 24 at noong 1986, ito ang Day 3 ng People Power Revolution na nagpatalsik kay President Ferdinand Marcos. Mahaba ito, ang daming ganap. At midnight, the radio Veritas broadcaster June Keithley and others took over the DZRH frequencies and launched Radio Bandido. Between interviews and reports, Keithley played Mambo Magsaysay and Bayan Ko. Nang mga 4 a.m., the U.S. announced that they would cut off all military aid if Marcos used force against the reformists. Nang mga 5 a.m., nalaman na ni Marcos yung desisyon ng mga Amerikano. Nagalit. Freak out na siya on TV and on radio, saying Enrique and Ramos were guilty of rebellion and he ordered a full assault by land and by air. Marcos said, "We'll wipe them out." In Fort Bonifacio, Ver gave the signal for an all-out attack using tear gas, marine artillery, helicopter gunships, and low-level jet bombers. Sa Camp Crame War Room, naghanda na rin sila sa laban. Nang mga 5:30 a.m., nagpasabog ng tear gas sa Santolan. Tapos, diniretso ng tangke yung rear wall ng Camp Aguinaldo. Kaya nakapasok yung mga loyalist forces. Pero parang nagpark lang sila doon. Yan. They did not fire because they were not fired upon. Nang mga 6 a.m., may 7 fully armed helicopters na umikot above Camp Crame. Nagland, nag-wave ng white flag at nag-sign ng L for laban, the opposition. Nag-akyat bakod si Colonel Antonio Sotelo with the entire elite 15th Strike Wing of the Philippine Air Force. Ang saya-saya nila, embrace, cry, ganun. Sa Manila Bay naman, si Commodore Tagumpay Hardiniano, Chief of the Naval Defense Force, nagpa-meeting sa 50 officers on a gunboat. He apologized as he announced that he was giving his support to Enrique and Ramos. Aba ay nagwuhu yung mga young officers at lahat sila bumaliktad. Nang mga 9 a.m. nag-TV appearance si Marcos, ang dami announcement. He declared a state of emergency nationwide. He ordered that all news on military operations go through the Office of Media Affairs. He asked all civilians to leave EDSA because the maximum tolerance policy had been lifted at inauguration din niya ulit bukas. So instead of scaring people, Marcos's TV appearance triggered even more people to go to EDSA, which was at more than 1 million by this time. In Fort Bonifacio, General Ramas received the order to fire howitzer guns at Camp Crame, yung parang cannons. Colonel Braulio Balbas, the Deputy Commandant of the Philippine Marines, didn't want to, as this would injure the civilians who were near the camps. Reformist soldiers went to Bohol Avenue and they were able to take over the TV4 station. Radio Veritas was able to use the Channel 4 transmitters. Nang mga 10 a.m., hindi pa tapos yung press ko ni Marcos, naputol. And this was followed by rocket attacks on Malacañang. General Ver realized that the wing commander of the F-5 planes over Malacañang has also changed sides. Nang mga 11 a.m., Marcos released a written order to Ver to close down Philippine Daily Inquirer, Manila Times, and 6 other newspapers and tabloids. And to avoid another station takeover, they shut down GMA7 and DZBB a few blocks away from TV4. Nang mga 3 p.m., a crowd of more than 2 million people filled EDSA from Cubao to Ortigas, from Green Hills to Libis, and smaller streets surrounding Camp Aguinaldo and Camp Crame. Nang mga 4 p.m., Cory Aquino made her first appearance on EDSA from the steps of the POEA building. Nang mga 6 p.m., U.S. President Ronald Reagan called Marcos and asked him to step down. At 7:30 p.m., the U.S. acknowledged the government of Cory Aquino. Nang mga 8 p.m., Marcos appeared simultaneously on channels 2, 9, and 13. He vowed he would defend the palace, had no intention of going abroad or of resigning. He called on loyal followers to go to Malacañang to enlist, to be issued firearms. He also declared a curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That night, in Wakwak, Cory Aquino, Doy Laurel, and a few others began creating the provisional government. Balik kayo bukas for Day 4. The day of 2 presidential inaugurations. O, di ba?